Hi guys, and welcome back. Hey, forgot to turn my camera on, and I had already started putting some yellow in the dove there, as you can well see. But right now I am coming in with some white, and I am kind of airbrushing some striking white highlights up onto the dove and in the water there, kind of covering up the eraser where I erased out. And that's what I'm doing at the moment. Stay tuned and keep watching. See how I almost finished this piece. Um, this is the last video, but I did come back in and highlight some of the water where it was just too bright. And you're hearing my dog in the background, Barney. He always has to be where I'm at, so he came in to join me. Say hi, Barney. He's not talking. Oh, yeah, dogs don't talk, do they? But anyway, he's with me here, and I'm continuing on. Now at this point, I'm pretty close to the piece working, and I'm spraying with a low PSI, around 15 to 20. It's right in there. And I do that because my paint at this point I have thinned down so that I can spray it lower. Cretex illustration paint, if you're wondering, if you didn't watch the other videos, that's the paint I'm using at this point. I have some different paints that I use from time to time on different materials, but for this piece I'm using Cretex illustration. It's a good paint. It is translucent kind of, so you can build up your layers. And I'm using my Creo's Pro Boy PS 771, and you can find that on Amazon with some of the other links that I'll link down below. It sprays with a 0.18 millimeter, similar to the Iwata Micron, which is a really good brush also. I use that too, but I just use this one all the time now. Not that I don't like the Iwata, I do. I just kind of save it for special things. And I have connected to my airbrush there. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little air filter that catches any kind of moisture that might come out of your compressor. And I use a California air compressor. It's a quieter air compressor, and it's not quite as expensive as the Iwata Silent Air. You know, you can find things that you don't have to really pay a ton of money for that works just as well sometimes. And this Creo's airbrush, I gotta tell you, that was a find. That just doesn't happen in airbrushes. I've tried a lot of airbrushes in my painting years, and this was just like, whoa, that's just as good as an Iwata. I don't like to spend money on cheap airbrushes. You can, I mean, there are a few out there that you can kind of tweak here and there to get to work pretty well if you're just starting out as a beginner and say you don't have $100 to spend on an airbrush. I mean, sometimes for around $50 you can get a pretty well made airbrush, and you can kind of tweak them, doing different things to them to make them spray better. But you know, if you're this airbrush here was 200 and something, and I think you can get a Pro Boy Creo's airbrush, a 270, for around $100. So why not spend the extra $50 to get a really good airbrush that you're going to have for a long time. I mean, it's well worth the wait to save the money to get it. If you're not, you know, if you're low on income, I just keep saving until you got the money to get at least the 270 or 289 Pro Boy Creos, because I mean it's well worth it, because the time that you're going to spend trying to tweak and figure out what's wrong with the other airbrushes, and the aggravation and frustration and pulling your hair out, why not just wait and get a really good airbrush? Oh, I've been there. I've pulled my hair out. I still do from time to time when I'm not happy with myself, because I know I can do better, you know, because I know I'm a good airbrush artist. So when I do stupid mistakes that I know better, you'll see me go, oh, but it happens to the best of us. We get going, and before we know it, we've done one of the major boo-boos that we know better not to do. But hey, you just cover it up, keep going on, keep moving forward. Always talk good to yourself, never talk bad to yourself, you know. Encourage your own self, because art is about creating, exploring, finding new ways to do new things. And I love to learn, and I'm always picking up something new, it seems like, and I really like the journey. It's kind of like life, you know, life is a journey. I'm putting in some whiter highlights on the top of the dove. I know you can't really see it very well at this point where I'm at, but that's what I'm doing. And then I seen where I got a little bit of overspray on the orange, so I came back in with an eraser and erased that out. And what I'm doing here is trying to make it look not so cut out. So I'm kind of filling in a little bit of feather texture there to give it that look that the fire is behind the dove, and not so much that the dove's been cut out and pasted right on the fire. I'm very close at this point, and my airbrush was giving me a little bit of trouble there, and I couldn't figure out why, but I think I got it. It was I had the air pressure a little bit too low for the consistency of the paint that I had in there, so it was wanting to spit a little bit on me. But you know, with fire, it doesn't really matter all that much if it did. You know, it's not something I'm going to come back in and fix, because fire does have little specks in it and highlights and stuff. Thank you for watching, and here's the, I don't know what this, okay, I boo-booed. Oh, I put the end of my video thing on there. Okay, laugh with me. Have fun. Ha ha ha. Roxy did a boo-boo. Like I said, I am just a real person. Not real good at this videoing thing yet. So, you know, hey, gotta be real, right? So here I'm coming in with some, I think the yellow a little bit here and there. But I have a highlight of that kind of pinkish purple, because the blue was not good to use. And I'm gonna I think do the beak or the eyeball next. I'm not real sure. I think I'm putting in some light texture of orange there, just regular orange, a little yellow, so I'm erasing that. Yeah, I'm going to do the eye. And I'm using just a punch hole that I punched out on a piece of paper. Sometimes I do that to get color markings correct. I will go over the color of something to look at it through that hole, and that way I can see that it's really a dark color or a light color to add into the original painting that I'm painting. I'm just adding in some dark in the highlight in the background there, darkening up a few places here and there. And I sprayed too dark there on the eagle. Ugh. Okay, I can't even talk today. On the dove, and I was like, oh, what did I do that for? But I came back in with the eraser and erased it out. And you can fix your mistakes, because this was a major boo-boo. But I'm erasing a lot of it there, as you can see. And then it kind of gave it a little bit of texture too, but I am kind of, with my dowel there, I'm kind of putting in some little highlights around that eye and putting in a little highlight there. Then I'm going to be coming back with some orange, I believe, for the beak and the feet. Lay down, Barney. It is hot out here today in Indiana. Woo! But I'm in air conditioning, thank goodness. He finally found a comfortable spot. Here I'm just using regular orange Cretex illustration. I've not mixed it with anything, but I'm not hitting all the areas. I'm letting some of that yellow that I had sprayed come out of underneath there. So it's just a hit and a miss here and there, just to give the feet some texture. And again, this video is sped up, so if you are following along with me, you can pause it and do your piece, and then play it, and then do your work and play it. Here I'm just kind of misting a little bit of the orange over the wing there. Just I'm holding the airbrush back as I do that. Kind of gives a little pinkish tint to the wings that would be reflecting off of the fire. And I'm just using a little paintbrush here for some little tiny detail work. I didn't want to try to do it with the airbrush. You know, you don't always have to use the airbrush. You can use little paint brushes, tiny ones, and you can use acrylic marker, the little fine tipped ones for just little details, fine details. You can use, I've even used a watercolor marker before, just for little things, and it's worked. If like you're gonna clear it right away, it's worked. You can't like leave it though, because usually we'll get things wet or whatever. But and you can use colored pencils for eyelashes and things. I really like the ink tints from Durwort. Because it's not just a colored marker, it's more like in kind of like an ink marker or a, what do I want? Like an Indian ink marker, kind of like. But thank you for watching. Subscribe and share and come back again for the final piece. Bye-bye.